This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners make in 5, 6 figures, 7 figures to making tons of money. But that's not the point. They're sharing their wisdom. And it's 6 questions in 9 minutes because transforming possibility leads to reality. So let's dive in and get right to it. Question number 1. Tell me who you are and what you do.
Sure thing. Thanks so much for having me on, Brad. Appreciate you. Thanks to Alice Dumas for actually shouting me out like, gotta love the dude. But as for me, for those been living under all the rocks, name is Dominique, Dom Brightmon. I'm a speaker, trainer, and leadership coach with the John Maxwell team. And my life motto is advance others to advance yourself, because folks have advanced me through encouragement and given me opportunities. And I seek to do out the same with others because, to be honest, we all need each other. Like, self-made is a lie. It's team-made.
Absolutely love it. And love my JMT DNA people. Who doesn't, right? Absolutely. For any of the JMT people, make sure you put, some love on this. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Question number 2, Dom. What's the best thing about being in business?
The best thing about being in business is that it's another layer of growth and development, because the employee entrepreneur side of the game, it's sun and the moon, it's bottom to front, it's totally 2 different things. It's like the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus sort of thing. It's like, yeah, you could do a lot of things to be an entrepreneur, get yourself up to the highest level of a company, but with the business, what worked yesterday isn't always going to work for today. So it's always a learning experience. And if you don't adapt, you're going to perish. So that's really one of the biggest things I love about business.
Absolutely love it. He's already dropping the value, and we haven't even got to question number 5 yet. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Question number 3. Now, we hear from other business owners, even during this time, and especially in the digital space nowadays, that they're getting so much business that the chaos is causing overwhelm. Tell me your thoughts on that, Tom.
Yeah, it's true, because, if you were getting little to no business before COVID, and now COVID sent you basically the water that was left over from the parting of the Red Sea, and you're being flooded with business, then yeah, that just leads to the fact that folks just needed to have better systems in place. I remember one business that was basically shouted out on a podcast platform, and his website crashed after that. Heck, even one powerful question every business owner should ask themselves, to learn from Antonio T. Smith, is, can your business handle 100,000 customers today? And it's like, wow. I'm like if you want big picture thinking, that is big picture thinking. So that's really the cause of that, is just a lack of big picture thinking and taking some implementation steps after that. I'm pretty confident I can handle that much business in terms of those who buy some books and future online courses. But in terms of coaching clients, like, nah, not 100,000 people for coaching. Like, that's something totally different. If I got 100,000 people allowed to be and receive from my coach, and I'd have to go to Tony Robbins route and charge $1 million after a while just to make sure they're serious.
Well, be prepared, Dom, after this podcast goes live, man.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Chocolates being spread. That's what I'm talking about.
little humor. It doesn't hurt to have a little humor on these things, right? All right. Question number 4. What other successful business owners like yourself, of course, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
There are so many. Antonio T. Smith, he's one of them. He is definitely one guy who's one of my role models, not just in business, but for life, because of his powerful story of how he used to be homeless eating out of trash cans, and now he's a multimillionaire helping to make multiple millionaires. Antonio T. Smith is one. Doug Vermeeren, he's another one. He is the spearhead leader of this movie called How Thoughts Become Things, which is the sequel to the movie called The Secret. Had him on podcast back in June of 2020, and he dropped so many jewels because he explains things so simply that you think to yourself, like, how the hell did I not get this? It makes so much more sense. So Doug Vermeeren, Antonio T. Smith, just to name 2. And the third one probably would be Daniel Gomez, the confidence architect. He's a fellow podcast host with some JMT DNA as well.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing those. Love it. Question number 5. Let's get to the crux of things. Let's get to the value, as it said, right, all over the internet, the value. So what piece of wisdom, Dom, would you share with other business owners?
Yes, go into business to make meaning. And that meaning is the problem that you solve to help others have a better life, because that's really what business is all about, being someone who's a cheerful, helpful spirit, helping others to have a better life, whether that's through building a better marketed mousetrap that's more powerful, having a great podcast, inviting authors to come on and give them a platform to share their stories and use as a two-edged sword marketing tool to filter some business back into the host books category, and heck, even just networking with other people and making that a pillar of wealth of just connecting with other people. So really going into business to making meaning, knowing your why, and keeping it at the forefront of your mind, no matter how dark the times may be. Heck, even keeping your day job if you have to, even if you're making those 5 figures, because you never know, like COVID could hit and you could be one of those businesses where it's like, crap, I have to do things in the total opposite direction to get some more clients, as opposed to filtering and managing the inflow and influx of clients.
I love it. I love it. For someone just starting out, so you've been through a few things, JMT, there's tons of training in there. I'm sure you've had lots of other training, as most JMTers do. What kind of advice would you give somebody who's just really looking to take that leap?
I'd have to say, for those starting out, is to ask powerful questions. Ask yourself powerful questions. I have a leadership speech called The 7 Questions That Every Mentor or Mentee Should Ask. And those can be kind of selfish because they start with, how can I? But to take it to another level, and I got this from Doug Vermeer, and that's why I mentioned him as a person you should have on the show, is the fact that he interviewed over 400 successful elite performers, a lot of them millionaires and billionaires. And he mentioned, instead of asking, how can I, asking who, as in kind of like Grant Cardone, who's got my money, in a way, who has the clients that I need to help me build this business. Instead of trying to build a customer base, it's going to other people's metaphorical congregations and seeing where their pain points are and then giving them the solution. Just asking, who needs my services? Who can help me get me in front of more people to give them value through my services? And not only who has the audiences that I need to get in front of to really share what I have to share to help other people.
Wow. I love that. All of that. So you just covered why and what and how and who, and you just covered it all, man. That's great. Thank you, Dom. I always love ending the podcast with the last question, which is, what's the most fun vacation you've ever had? Because, when we start out on this journey, it's not live to work, it's work to live, right?
Oh yeah, you can say that again. Bro, I originally put Myrtle Beach on there. Now that I remember, that's probably the only answer I remember on the pre-questionnaire. I'm going to probably change it to North Carolina, out in the mountains, because that was the time that I was able to do a zip line from one point to another. And that was one heck of an experience, because I felt like I was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, coming from the Raptors to getting the 60-minute Ironman match and realize the boyhood dream. And that zip line experience was kind of like, in a way, vicariously creating my own high top experience of really ziplining and really conquering any fear of heights I thought I may have had. And that's probably been the funnest vacation I can definitely remember, until I create some more in the future, after COVID, that is.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I've done zip lines a couple of times. I love them every single time. About due for another one. So I'll ring you up when we're ready.
Yes.
Dom, thank you for being on. Thank you for investing some time to share with others. I appreciate you for that and how you serve. What's the website or social media, or when somebody sees this and they say, when the 100,000 see this and they're ready to reach out to you for some coaching, right? What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure thing. They can reach out to me on dombrightmon.com, dombrightmon.com. That's where you can check out the Going North podcast, where there are 300 plus authors featured on that show every Monday and Thursday. And there's also a free gift for anyone that goes to that website too. Just leave your name, your email, subscribe to the list, and you'll get a free ebook called 21 Lessons Learned from Podcasting. And those lessons actually apply to life and in business too. So be sure to pick that up as well on dombrightmon.com.
Love it. Love it. Very, very clear. Absolutely love that. Thank you again for being on. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not about the money. They're sharing their wisdom and they're creating impact globally. Thanks for joining us.